Gentlemen, welcome back to the Fireside chat. I, of course, am Qwerty2Jam with QWERTYCam, finally. And we are joined by a dancing Bane, because he has better moves than Bubbles. And Bubbles is currently busy with a journalist. That's the word.
Yes.
That's the word. Mental blank. Shut up.
Way to make it sound really shady.
Shh. Yeah.
He's busy
Journalist.
with a journalist.
Alright, gentlemen, how are we today?
Doing
Can't
great,
complain.
doing great.
Doing even better after the sale. Let's put it that way.
Well, you would be. So, we haven't had server crashing amount of people online?
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it. If we look at the numbers that came into the first TGS, yeah, we've had server crashing numbers, except our servers are much more robust now.
Not to mention, one of the server farms isn't catching on fire.
Exactly. And we've
Always.
graduated from hitting the servers with mallets to spanners now, so at least we can rebuild them much faster than we were before.
Excellent. So, we've actually had our first question already. Why does Qwerty have no hair? It's because I'm balding and I'm going to have no hair by 24. Easy. I hate it.
You know, just shave it all off.
Have you figured out if you're gonna go toupee or hat or
Oh, fuck no. I'm not
Just
too paying. I'm just going to... probably
accept
just...
it, your glory?
Yeah, accept it.
That's
Fuck
the way
it.
to do it.
Who just joined the call? No! Howard, leave the call. You've just thrown all the fucking things off. Someone kick Howard.
You have to leave the call right now.
He has just thrown all the windows off. God damn it, Howard.
Leave.
The screen
Wow,
regions
way to
are...
berate the boss in front of everyone.
Thank you, Howard.
Okay,
Nice.
let's continue.
Okay, so... Obviously, we are on sale at the moment. Is the sale still going on?
No, sale ended today.
Sale
Yeah,
unfortunately.
2 hours ago.
Yeah, we ran for 48 hours, but it was a blissful and glorious 48 hours, except for, at least for me, who I didn't have to deal with any of the crazy things on the Steam forum.
I was gonna say the person who didn't answer all the newbie questions.
Yeah. Well, awesome. So, what sort of player spike did we see? Obviously, nowhere near TGS, but was there a noticeable spike?
Oh,
we had
yes.
2,000 players concurrent at one point, so I mean it's
I think
was-
we went over that. I think it went almost to 3,000.
almost a 3,000.
Yeah.
God damn, fair enough.
I mean, I definitely saw up to, I think, 800 something players waiting. So,
Yeah.
How many
Well,
players commented on that? I always love it when people say, "Why are there so many in the lobby?" Well, it's because captains want to set their stuff up. They're very particular.
Yep.
Yeah.
remember back in beta where we'd sign on, you'd see that there are like 52 players in lobby, and you say, "Wow, busy day."
Yeah, I know, right? My God.
Hopefully it'll stay at a couple hundred all the time. That's what we hope.
I
Yeah.
usually see it holding consistent
see.
at around 130 to, well, depending on time of day, anywhere from 90 to about 180.
All right. Let's see if we can push that a little higher. That's the goal.
Definitely.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I know that some of the clans are already going hardcore into recruiting mode, so it'll be interesting to see how the competitive scene gets to change through that.
It'll be
Yeah,
great.
I mean,
to
even if
No, you go.
if there are any new players who are watching now, we encourage everyone to start their own clans and join in on the competitive stuff. Can name all the competitive clans on like two hands maybe. Let's start with our feet now too, right? Let's add our feet into the mix. What?
That-
didn't even make
That
sense.
and I'm rather impressed by how much community activity, activism, and just generally nice guys the top players are nowadays. It's great.
Yeah,
Actually, I want to
that's
give a
awesome.
shout out to David Hark. I doubt he's in the channel right now, but he was answering so many questions, and it made my life so much easier. Also to all the CAs who made my life easier, and Meta5 who took over for me when I needed to eat and sleep. Two things I'm a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've gotten like a couple questions now. So, do we ever get to? I heard adventure mode is coming. Do we ever get to make up an NPC crew?
Let's see. What is the best way to answer this? You will be able to play by yourself, as in you don't need to pilot the ship. You can pilot on other people's ships if they're human players, or just AI controlled on rails type experience. As for creating an NPC crew yet, I honestly don't know. I haven't even thought that far yet. So I'm just working in the constraints that there will be humans crewing ships and pilots. There will be AI piloting ships and crew. So it'll be a mix of that. But that's an excellent idea, trying to form your own NPC crew that you can level up and stuff like that. I can see how that's interesting coming from like Star Command and like FTL kind of stuff. I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah, actually, and for all those extra outfits that people have to be able to deck out your own crew.
Oh, it's like hand-me-downs.
Yeah. So like, I'm gonna wear the best stuff, and then all the crew's gonna get the little things that I also earned.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to add that into the backlog right now, because
That's pretty cool.
All right, so another question which we answer every week from Stocklock, saying sort of what features will Adventure Mode have? Will it still be a lobby, or will it be a bit more open world? It's going to be a more open world experience, less focused on sort of team play, I guess.
Hold on.
No?
It's not going to be open world to the extent that you're going to be flying your airship wherever the heck you want to go. We're still, because we're a small team. In fact, if you go to our Facebook page, there's a nice video about one of the Muse Games co-founders talking about how much of a challenge it was to actually build this game with our crew. So it's still going to be lobby based, but what we're definitely adding is politics and economy system. Like we've talked about the factions before, so that's going to be definitely in there. But as how open world, I don't know. Like our goal right now is like at least like every capital for each of these factions is going to be, you can go inside and walk around and stuff like that. That's already like really big for us.
I thought as far as I knew, the plan was going to have a bunch of instanced regions and routes across the world.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to be similar to lobby structure. You jump into a mission between two cities and like carry some sheep over, hunt down a VIP, and stuff like that.
Sheep.
Fair enough.
Sheep.
All right, so we've had a question from Byron Cavendish, and actually this is a really good question that I want to ask as well. A while ago we saw Howard playing with the Oculus Rift. I'm very interested in getting this for Icarus, but I haven't seen any new information on if Icarus will support it. Now, you do intend to support it, don't you?
Yeah, we actually have a dev kit in our office. It's just a question of when we will get time to actually start, dicking around with it.
Okay. If I may, it is literally drag and drop. It will take you 5 minutes.
I was about to say that we do some really funny stuff with our camera, so it's not particularly drag and drop for us. Yeah, we do some like pretty interesting camera effects, like we have like the rain overlay, the frost, and additional kinds of things that happen to the camera that we're not sure how to port over just yet.
Okay.
So we'll just it'll take like a day or two of time to figure out exactly what those constraints are.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be as straightforward as plug and play.
Awesome.
Now we have a question about adventure mode. Do you have any? Do you plan to add advantages to different classes, like better accuracy for gunners, for example?
That's a good question because adventure mode is still far out, but I am doing co-op progression stuff, which will of course feed into adventure mode. As to increased accuracy for gunner, I don't know what that really means. Accuracy is a physical skill that you can learn. So does more accuracy mean aimbot? I don't know if I want to do that, but progression and the different types of skills and stuff like that will be different in co-op and adventure mode, of course, because we're not balancing for PvP combat anymore.
Fair enough. La-da-da-da-da. Out of questions for the moment.
I should go in game and plug it again.
Indeed. Bring in everyone. I'm sure all the newbies will have plenty of questions to ask us, and we can get our bingo cards going again.
Yeah, no,
Yes, we
seriously.
are
Had
still
to bring
doing
that
that.
up.
We are still doing it. Because it amuses us. So, what can I say? Ducks are having scrims today. I know the Sky Invading Rhinos are looking for a scrim on Wednesday if anybody's interested in some scrimmages.
Oh, holy crap. Valve just released a video of their controller in action.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, when we say we've seen it, it's only Howard has seen it. So this is actually pretty exciting for me. I've heard enough about it already. So they show it with Portal 2 and Civ 5. I think those are pretty awesome examples.
Both other ends of the spectrum, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, we did have a question. Will new ships be DLC or free?
Wait, sorry, Howard is talking into my ear. Ask that again?
Will new ships be DLC or free?
I'm gonna mark that down on the bingo sheet. New ship.
Yeah, that does count as new ship.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm counting as new ship. So will they be DLC? I mean, for now, I want to say new guns and new ships for skirmish mode will be free. The big DLC that we know for sure is co-op mode and then adventure mode in the future. So as far as how new ships and guns will fit into that, I don't know. But for skirmish mode, when we do release them, they will be for free.
Someone asking about adventure mode again because they came in late.
Uh-huh.
So basically, what is it going to be?
It's everything that you have in the game right now, plus politics and economy.
And faction warfare.
Yeah.
Faction
Joining
warfare,
sides
territory controlled, player controlled economy, different style of progression, that sort of thing. More of a persistent world that gets shaped by your actions. Fun stuff.
Right.
Then Brian asking if we can get some posts about the new event that's happening. I'm gonna butcher the name, and I'm gonna feel really bad about it. Someone make Meta5 do it for me. What's the name of the new conflict, the new tournament that's happening?
The Unvalen conflict.
Anvalen. Okay, I'm glad I had someone else say it first this time. But yeah, I can definitely post something up. Just shoot me an email at kivias@musegames.com to remind me. Will we have quests related to old novels like hunting sky whales for revenge? We love inside jokes. If you look at like the loading screen map, there's a couple. If you look at a lot of the achievements, there's like my favorite. The first one I ever saw was the one about gents because it came right after the Fjords tournament, where they were known for sniping out other teams, and it's about long-range warfare.
I mean,
So
the weapon description logbooks are full of them. It's great.
Yeah, I know. I tried to put in as many of those as I could.
I swear there was a time where I thought this had homing.
The missile sling.
Best reported ship name. Oh lordy. Hang on, let me see.
Go to the logs.
All right.
Man, again, the things that players come up with are pretty genius at times.
That's
And
one
then we have
word for it.
If they put that much effort into, life instead of racism, they could get so much done.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan to change the force reload when a different ammo is loaded? I mean, I'd prefer not to mount that gun as an engineer. Would like to have the option to leave the gun or reload manually.
That's weird, because it should, if someone loads in an ammo and you don't have it and you get on the gun, you should be able to use that clip of ammo.
I believe in its current state, it auto-reloads the gun.
That's really weird. That might be a bug. And in fact, it was a bug, and I thought I was going crazy, and I asked someone about it, and they fixed it. So that's not going to be true in the next patch. I don't know why it's like that. In fact, we're going to introduce some new additional UI to let you know what ammo is loaded into the gun. So that's going to be really awesome.
Nice.
But you should be able to...
Oh, and
Yeah, go.
Go ahead.
I don't even remember what I was going to say.
I thought you were done.
Yeah, keep going. I'm done.
new UI gun reload.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It looks nice.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I caught off there. It's pretty. But for Brian, was claiming gents never sniped. Brian, back during the Captain Roy days, this is February. Back then, the gents were the snipers. Very, very
If you
strongly.
if you want to know why the flak cannon has the arming time on it, ask them.
Yeah, ask them.
If you want to know why Fjords is my most hated map, ask them.
You know why Fjords has more clouds? Ask them. Just bash
Actually,
on them right now.
I thought
They have a lot to
more
answer
clouds
for as a
came
clan.
after- I feel like more clouds came from the paddling destroying us at every open map that we tried to fight them on.
Well, yeah, that's part of it too.
Open map, it's every map. You don't need to be open for the paddling to destroy you.
And I really do know that balance is a ever-evolving and ever-changing thing, but I think that it's currently at a pretty good spot right now, to be honest.
Except for that one thing.
Yeah.
That one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one thing.
That one really painful thing.
You're all coaxing for the square. You all want them to bring it up, so it counts on your bingo sheet, and you're all
He's the one who's
bastards.
staring at his bingo sheet over there. Wait. Okay, where am I relative to him on the stream?
Sorry?
You don't have the stream up synced or anything?
Okay,
He
you are
is
bottom
to
right.
And he's bottom left.
Okay, so...
You need to point to your right if you want to point to Orcam.
Okay.
Alright, there was a question about shipboarding.
What,
it's
really?
never going to be in the game. Yeah, basically asking if there's any plans for in the future. Yeah, there will never be any boarding. We want combat to be ship-to-ship based.
And if people are looking for more details, I wrote a pretty good blog post. If you go on our website and just, I believe you can search for it. But
It's also in the
also in the
FAQ.
oh yeah, yeah.
But I'll sum it up as briefly as possible. The short answer is, not only would it interfere with the game's collaborative focus to bring people into direct player versus player content, it would also detract from our production time in making really good guns and airships by putting in a rather mediocre hack and slash or gun shooty system. And let's be honest, it would wreak havoc with respawns, crew count, ship count on maps, just ugh. It would work if you were to build an entire game from the ground up around it, but you don't just add it in.
Yeah, I think the really good way to do this is like you play our game, and when you fly really really close to another ship, close our game and then open up Chivalry. and then when you're done, open up our game again.
And then when your crew's done yelling at you for not doing anything for the next 10 minutes,
I'm just gonna go
blame
ahead and add that
Eric.
to troubleshooting.
Good game, though. Just saying.
I mean, this was actually Howard's genius idea. It's actually it really harkens to the point, and it's like, yeah, if the game was not designed from the ground up to support it, it's not going to be good.
Fair enough.
Alright, got a new question. What would the devs like to see most in the game future? What would be possible? What do you want the game to be?
Man, adventure mode has always been the dream, right? So we want to be able to do that as quickly as possible.
The dream, if not the raison d'être.
Shut up. Frenchie.
I don't know, I think what I want to see most in the game, I mean, I love adventure mode, co-op mode, those things really excite me, but being able to truly take advantage of all the like nice players and great community we have. Like, we've got the global chat, and there's a lot of question answering there, but I'd love to get like the newbies who want to learn and the players who want to teach better together. I mean, I feel like everyone would be happier in that community, like where we could truly take advantage of it and people understand tools better.
Yeah, I mean, that would be also really cool. Just ways to bring people together. I mean, that's the whole spirit of our community now. I think it'll solve a lot of problems, especially with like team stacking and stuff like that. Bringing people together and playing together would be a great thing to solve.
All right.
I'm too depressed by some of these questions.
I think they're just going with the chivalry thing and running with it.
Gildwin, you better be real careful about what you say next, boy.
Gildwin,
I'm
in case
warning
this is the
you.
first time you're here,
Let it go,
just to,
Cordy.
just to
Let
let
it
you
go.
know,
Let it
Cordy
go.
loves the Mobula. It's like his child. He wakes up in the morning, turns on the game, and looks at it and like checks it over to see if we've done anything to it, just to make sure.
Look, I've got a
Feeling
screen
its
cap
luscious
of the.
apple bun.
I've got a screen cap off the Mobula with no HUD as my background at the moment. So.
But he was
Look.
asking, why does the Mobula have nothing but light front guns? It seems like a waste of its size. And I'm betting the big answer is balance, because there's 5 guns on it. So.
Well, equally lore-wise, it isn't meant for war. It was requested by a rich, I believe it was a baronies or a guild S, which who wanted a ship where she could look up at the night sky while aboard it. So they made that, and then it was repurposed with the guns. So, boom, lore.
I think
in
the
your
exact
face.
words was it was either a wealthy heiress or princess.
Well, one of the two.
And Cordy was that princess. So.
No.
So we also have a question about ship customization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great day for the bingo cards.
Yep. So engines but basically he's asking, can engines and hull be picked as well as the guns for ship customization?
No, purely for balance concerns. Basically, the way to... Is that a bingo?
No, I'm looking at meta like, why the fuck isn't... Oh wait, yes it is. No, I'm just an idiot. Continue.
The reason why we don't allow you to do engines and hull is because basically choosing a ship is your engine and hull. Because I feel, at least when I balanced the ships, the HP of a ship is very, very closely tied to the way that it moves. For example, the Squid is a really good one to talk about. It moves very quickly, right? It's the fastest ship in the game. It's the most agile ship in the game. When I say agile, it means it turns the fastest. So naturally, I can't make it a tank, have the most HP. That'll make it completely imbalanced. So it's very lightweight. It's a cockroach, basically. And that's the way I look at things.
Okay.
All right,
a question came in here. If we all had to get into a fist fight, who would win? Which one of you was higher ranking in that martial arts again?
Riley.
Me.
All right, then. There's your answer.
I was gonna say, I think I've got a good chance, but just because I'd go to everyone else into killing each other first, and I'd take on the weakened opponent last. So if I won, it wouldn't be through physical strength or ability, it would be 100% through manipulation.
And I might be able to win through attrition just because, I'm kind of indestructible and double-jointed everywhere in my body.
That's alright, I don't need to bend you. Our martial art isn't one where we make you submit, it's one where we beat you till you can't stand.
I was gonna say, unless your ribs are bendable, I think they're gonna be
Prepare to be pleasantly surprised.
And then there was a question from Grey T. How badly is the heavy carronade going to be nerfed?
Which, by the way, does count to the nerf card.
Yeah, it counts, it counts.
I am looking at range right now. I think that's the only thing that... Okay, so a couple things happened in the last round. I increased its reload time on both the guns, and people, of course, flipped out in dev app, and I was like, alright, I'll see what I can do. I increased the range a little bit, just a teeny bit, and added some shatter. But of course that was a little too much, as we know now. So I'm just gonna leave the reload probably, leave the damages probably, but scale range back. So right now, I think the main problem is that when you go with the heavy carronade especially, there is very, very little risk compared to how much reward you have, and that's even more true for the light carronades. So I'm going to reel the ranges back to bring in more risk. I think that's the conservative way to do things, but I think it'll work.
Okay. What do you think about ship customization for being able to mirror the ship, like placing the helm and side gun on the other side in the case of the squid?
Oh, that is a cool idea. If we had a way to do that, we might do it, but we don't. And yeah, Riley's like freaking out right now.
No, I like knowing which side the guns are on a Pyramidion. I don't want to be going round to the safe side as something squishy like a squid and going, oh shit, wait, he's got guns on me.
Well, I do know that
Yeah,
ship
I mean-
variance was something that you guys wanted to experiment with for adventure mode, and maybe that would fall into that purview.
Right, exactly. It's part of balanced PvP. Choosing your ship, you are telegraphing some of your strategy. And then if you figure out what weapons people have, that's also a form of telegraph. Now, basically, you can figure out what everyone is bringing, including down to your skills on the opposite team. So everything is telegraphed. So we have that chess game during, in match lobby, which is kind of cool. It does make lobbies last a little while, but then you try to execute those loadouts in a match. I think I find that pretty interesting.
The Spectre
Alright,
is asking.
And then,
Oh,
I was gonna say there was a question about free for all mode first.
Free for all.
Yep.
much the same response as 1v1.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's the thing. My concern is it's just going to get too chaotic. It's just all the ships coming together and just blowing each other up. It's going to happen really, really quickly. I'm not sure how entertaining that would be. I don't know how much strategy that will require. So we lean on the side of not really that much fun compared to the more team-based elements. 1v1 is just imbalanced. Period. Galleon
And then
squid.
Are we going to count
Yep.
that?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think that should count, no.
'cause I mentioned
Alright.
Yep. And then, any ideas we care to share on for boss ship design and engaging them? Are they going to be like the 1980s damage sponge kind of boss, or will they have weak points, or what are we planning for them?
Okay, so far right now for boss ships, like the weak points is definitely a possibility, but we may try to save that for adventure mode. Right now in co-op, we want to customize more special airships. So not like the crazy not even know what, like those traditional games where you have 6 stages that you have to do to kill a boss. I don't think we're going to have anything like that for co-op just yet. So you'll be encountering sort of like, again, to call out Left 4 Dead, it's like you have your witch in your tank. Those are also just special infected. You can treat those as airships along with like the hunter and the boomer and stuff like that. Those are going to be airships. They're going to have a specific strategy that they're going to be trying to carry out, and you have to respond to them accordingly.
And then another question on adventure mode. Will it just be ships, or will there be any more character engagement, like RPG dock interaction, or story mode-ish adventure?
We're going to try as hard as we can to put in as many of the NPC interactions, like you have your dock and you can see other players. That's why we're talking about at least each of the factions' capitals will be a walkable city. You can go around, you can go to the pub, you can see other players and stuff like that. This is an idea that we had from a long time ago. We at least want that social hub where we can see each other's third-person avatars. I think that's really important. As far as incorporating like story type stuff, it's more going to be player crafted story. It's like, again, you have almost complete control of how you run these factions. So it's about interacting with the other players who are in these factions and players who are outside of the factions, building those conflicts, building those relationships. That's what the story is.
Right. And can we get any hints as to what you're planning for the anniversary?
That's why I was like,
gonna say-
they made a post on it!
I was gonna say we've talked about the fireworks, which is my favorite part.
Yeah, we're gonna be fireworks. There are gonna be cakes, stuff like that. normal
I'm
birthday stuff.
disappointed there's no item coming out though. There should be a hat or something.
Just a big pom-pom party hat.
Oh, you get like,
I don't
oh
know,
yeah,
we
just
might-
one of those cones or something. Anything.
Wasn't
Birthday boy.
Wasn't there a hat? I know there was talk of hat.
There were Taka hats. I have to go confirm. I'm not sure.
Okay.
We've got some time though. We've got some time. We've got like 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not having kamikaze ships. That's ridiculous.
More
Yeah, a
requests for
wearable
squid
cape.
cannon.
That'd be
would
more
be
fun
so
for the pilot, I think, than the crew, because you'd have the engineers like, I can't repair a kamikaze, okay?
Right. That's kind of. Although I would say in co-op there will be enemy ships that will be kamikaze, perhaps.
Cool.
Gray T. We are not going, as far as I know, the plan is not to have there be any sort of crossover in the progression of adventure mode that will carry into skirmish mode. We want to keep, skirmish mode independently balanced and. Golden
All
Glade
right.
wants to know when we're going to fix harpoons. Cross that one
I'd
off.
like to know as well.
Yep.
I don't know.
So where is that in the priority list? Because I know you have your fixes that you're like really excited about implementing.
I think the last batch of like pretty big features is almost done, so it's getting up there now. We might get it in like the next month or two.
Just quickly, meta. Last
Yeah.
week we decided that the Muse team count for the family spouse in frame, correct?
Do they?
Yeah, we worked this out last week. You asked Orcam after the stream. Which means... Bingo!
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I was
lucky
one
jerk.
away.
Boom boom! New ship, Harpoon, using the free space. It's a diagonal, and boarding, it was mentioned anyway. Family, spouse, and buff Y. Got it.
All right. You lucky jerk.
One away.
Buff Y,
All right.
Buff Y was one.
So
I put in some
and-
extra stuff, so not every she's going to have the same options on it.
Yep. All right. So if RPG interactions occur, can we choose our paths like playing a smuggler, law enforcement, traders, much akin to the Freelancer series?
Just quickly, Freelancer. I've lost so many hours to that game. I love it so much. That is such a brilliant game. That's
I
what got
haven't
me
played it.
interested in this.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played freelancers myself. So as far as like, will we have a class that is a smuggler class? We may not be able to do that. You can play as a smuggler and kind of play both sides of a faction or multiple factions. You could do that, but there's not going to be like we're going to have something to call you by. It's like you make up your own role and how you want to play.
It's role play it a little. If you want to be the
Yes.
Sky Pirate of the Yeshan Empire, go for it.
Yes,
Me, I'm
you
going to be
can-
the
you
Grand
can do
General
that,
of
yes.
Yesha. Bring it.
Great. Yeah, you can totally do that, and it's just you decide how you want to relate yourself to the factions or betray them, however you want.
I actually got asked this question a few days ago, if there are any features planned to help enable role players, and really the answer I gave was, roleplay is going to be an emergent thing. We just want to create a world that has enough options and enough immersiveness in it to enable that for you.
Yeah, exactly. We don't. I mean, just the idea of locking you into like multiple classes, smuggler, thief, sky pirate, it's just a game design headache for me. There's no way to balance all that stuff, so I'm just gonna leave it up to you. Play however you want. We'll build the framework for you, and you can just do whatever. Hopefully.
And if you want, and I know Papa Paradox is currently watching, I know Lord Dick Tim, I don't know whether he's still working on it, but he was working on a pen and paper Guns of Icarus role-playing game. So if you're one of these
would be cool.
role-playing nuts, Wind and Thunder, what's the status on that? Like, where is that at? I've been out for the last couple of playtests. Anyway. Can we become a ruler of these areas? I imagine he says factions. I believe I asked this last week, like, can I become, like, the ox or the deer or the tiger?
Still TBD. Like as far as designing the systems, like getting to the top level and issuing all complete control, I think, is a no-no for players. You'll be able to vote on a series of options. Like, if you get high enough in the faction, you'll just have more votes, perhaps. But the types of things that the factions will choose to do, like, if the president decides he has 3 options that you can vote on, the players can vote on those 3 options. Mm-hmm. And if you're higher player, your votes count more. Something like that.
Cool.
All right, and then there was a question from Gray T. Will there ever be game animations added in, like dance or high five? I know the end of game screen is getting completely revamped, and that was one of the things we were going to look at, is sort of celebratory things.
Yeah, I mean, a long time ago, we actually had a dance animation that never got, because maybe.
Oh, this I have to see.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. What is it? It is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The one of the guys' names, the mustache.
Carlton. No.
Carlton's dance. It was Carlton's dance. We have that animation somewhere. This was like from the beginning, like in beta, before beta.
That is beautiful, and I want to see it.
I know.
I was gonna say, this is a dangerous thing to say, because now it's gonna be everyone asking for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want it, and we've been trying to find some way to put it in. But truth of the matter is, we have one animator on our team, just one. So, and doing one of these animations, especially dance, is pretty involving.
Well, speaking of, sorry.
It's him doing the dance over and over again, and watching him do the dance. It's kind of funny.
So speaking of which, speaking of things that used to be in beta or in earlier stages of the game that have since been removed, I believe I brought this up to you before. One thing that I personally would like to see, to speak of, as developers, what would you like to see in the game? You remember how in beta, when your ship got shot down, you would actually see it shatter under your feet before you passed the boundary and blacked out? That was really cool and really immersive. I wouldn't mind seeing that again from a first-person perspective.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that too. Might be an easy one to do as well.
The answer to that question, Golden Glade, is because while, actually, I think that Eric over there is. Am I pointing the right way? Whatever. He's the only one that's. He's the only one that's actually at the Muse head offices right now. The other 3 of us are telecommuting. So this is my room. There you go.
Yep, he's in his room, Kivice in his room, and I'm in my sort of gaming lab where I chill most of the day. And yes, imagine, I finally have a cam. There we are.
Yep. We finally get to see him, what he looks like.
Lucky you.
We now know what we need to do for the naked figurehead.
Holy shit, wall of text.
A meth lab? I mean, I guess it just doesn't come out well because of the whole black and white webcam thing.
Will I be able to whack my teammates in the head with a hammer when they don't behave? We should really add a squeaky hammer sound when you hit someone with a mallet.
Oh god, don't.
I mean, it would be completely useless for teamwork, and I'm sure people would abuse it instead of actually repairing, but it'd be hilarious for me.
Oh god. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, before I forget, ship taunts and dance high five is contingent on seeing other players on other ships.
Right.
Oh, stop it. Sorry, my everything is buggering up there for a second. Okay.
By the way, what's
should
the
be
progress
fixed.
on that at this point? The whole seeing players on other ships thing?
We have a plan of attack right now. Just a plan.
Okay.
We haven't actually done anything on the plan yet.
Well, there's an old saying, never be without a plan and never rely on it. So we'll see how that goes.
And then there's a question about more chat commands, so sort of like the old World of Warcraft /E to be able to say your guy's doing something. Will there be something like that for role players in game? So if you want to be like, yawns tiredly, or does something else?
Like a stiletto.
Yeah, maybe.
No one's gonna get that joke.
We have the framework for it. We have crew signals, the voice command stuff in already. So it's possible we could trigger an animation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Um.
I have a couple of points to raise really quickly, just while I remember. The Pyramidion going down onto the lower deck, that bug where the texture just drops to low quality is back. Only if you go down the left-hand side.
Only on the left-hand
Yep.
side.
If you go down the right-hand side, the texture is fine. If you go down the left-hand side, like as you're facing the back, stage left, then it buggers up. The texture breaks again. And, I was going to ask something else, and that was actually the important bit. Ah, damn it.
Weird.
No idea. Can't remember.
We had a player bringing up, so we need an option for low levels not to be able to join intermediate level matches.
Kinda agree with this. Kinda.
I could see where the option to do that would be.
Yeah, actually, have your standard matches. You can have your beginner matches, but also have the option to maybe label something as an advanced match. Because if
Yeah, I mean, with the player, with the influx of new players that we've had recently, yeah, it's just like, new players getting into matches with like organized teams and getting stomped on. Yeah, it's kind of problematic. I mean, this is why we had the novice matches in the first place. So there's a safer place for new players to like play around, and we lock the customization for you, so you don't like equip your ship with something that can't kill each other with like all flamethrowers or something like that. Yeah, I mean, we're thinking of ways to notify players that they're playing against someone who's actually like who could totally destroy you. And that's of course a part of letting you know that team stacking may be occurring. So I think that's wrapped up into the whole, basically a similar problem.
I think that if anything, we'd like to try to incentivize the right behavior and make more transparent what the players are getting into, rather than just directly punish or
Exactly.
make exclusive the lobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And as I said about my favorite thing, and get those new players on ships with people who can teach, because people like Lord Dictam, you can give him 3 level 1s, and he'll make them into monsters almost every time, without a doubt.
Yep.
So as far as coming up with like ways to do that, as in like match lists and lobby, still thinking about it. I mean, as far as team stacking, we're thinking about just having a win counter for each team. It's like if you've been in the same match lobby for a while and like blue team has won 6 times and red team only won once, well, you can have an idea that blue team is stacked. So you kind of know that you're going to get into it. That's one idea, at least for now.
Question from Shio L. Are there any plans for a matchmaking system allowing for similar ranked players to play in a match against only other similar ranked players, or an organized party-style matchmaking system?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of thinking about that too. The one problem that we face is that our community is still rather small, so further segmenting the players to that extreme may not be very beneficial to us. It's just that you'll have more difficulty finding a match, perhaps. So that's a problem that it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day.
That, and if you're talking about taking stuff like max level or average level, I've seen players who have stuff like 7 in every class, and I've seen some that have like 10 in one class and 1 in one in the others. So.
Yeah.
How exactly you'd establish the metric of player skill, that's especially in a game that has as strong as a collaborative focus as this one.
Yeah.
I mean,
There needs to be a separate recorded stat for how well you work with others, so.
Yeah, and that's kind of impossible to track to some extent.
Yeah.
I mean, even our progression system, the levels are cosmetic. Basically, you spend more time in the game, you get levels. They don't unlock any more skill, but it's a loose correlation. Like, time in game usually means how much skill you have in general. So we can use that to some extent, but it's not a guarantee again.
All right, and then there was a question about when you reload a weapon and you have to stay on it to fully reload to actually get the ammo to load in. Is that a mechanic or a bug? And that's a mechanic.
Yep, it's a mechanic.
Yep, working as intended. A lot of Carronade discussion going on right now.
Ever the linchpin. Well, look on the bright side. At least it's not the field gun anymore.
Yeah, and I was about to say it's not as bad as the field gun.
Oh, man.
True. Well, it's because the field gun at all ranges was a monster. At least you have a little bit of hiding with the Carronade.
Well, see, everybody's forgotten about the original days of the missile sling when it was homing.
Oh god.
When it was homing.
Hey.
How did that get through fucking Q&A? Jesus.
No, because the homing was actually like super inaccurate.
Yeah, like you could aim
Like
a
shit
certain
it
distance
was.
away from them, and they would collide with the ship unerringly. You can just barely point it sort of at the side, but at the wrong vector, and it would just veer off entirely. Absolutely
Yeah.
nuts.
It would,
Or how?
But-
how come the Gatling guns had
Absolute bullshit. They were. You could arc it across terrain, just up, over, down, whoop, done, dead. Thank you.
Excuse me, QWERTY, but I seem to recall you flying a double Carronade Pyramidion right alongside everyone else at the Thunder Dunes.
Excuse me, that was my build. I did that.
No.
I was the only one to fly that. Everybody else was rocking Artemis and was it Flak
Not
at
at
that
Thunder
point?
Dunes. Not
No.
at Thunder
Thunder
Dunes.
Dunes.
Not at Thunder Dunes.
Doctor
At
the
Thunder Dunes,
Spaceman
everyone
had
was
like
using that.
all Carronades as well.
Yeah.
The Carronade was everywhere.
That was my bit. That build was the QWERTY. That was my
For those
bit.
of you playing along at home, back in the day, the Carronade used to be the armor-piercing
stripper.
weapon, and the Gatling gun used to be the balloon shredder, as odd as that sounds.
Yeah, these two used to be random players that I teamed up with in a beta tournament back in the day. Now they're Muse staff.
By default, we might add.
All right.
And I'm just a caster.
With our little tangent and rant, I think we've missed a couple questions.
Rants
I'm
are
gonna try to
fun.
go
I
back
like
up.
rants.
What's up with Bubbles Screen? He became Bane, or has an interview, and we're using the GIF either way.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. What's our favorite ship, except for QWERTY? We know what you love.
Mobula.
Yeah. That one's not subtle. So, Eric,
Junker.
Junker.
Except I never liked the goldfish, but I'm liking it a lot right now because of the Carronade.
You cheap bastard.
Hey, I gotta test it.
And Meta.
You know, previously and historically, I've usually been a big fan of the Junker, but lately, I've been pretty sweet on the Squid. That is a fun ship.
Holy crap,
Still
you're awesome
too
on the
weak.
Squid.
You see,
Hey,
my
good enough to have us go 12-1 in the dev games.
I know, that was pretty impressive.
All right,
That was some
who is this
pretty tight
against though?
coordination.
all right.
Weren't we up against like some good players too?
Yeah,
Hey,
Aimbo,
good players are really quick at hopping in. Like, I
Take
don't
it
know
into
how
the
it's-
cogs.
True, that would be the true test. I don't. And my favorite ship has been, and from the first day I got into beta until now, will always be the Goldfish. Favorite ship. It just design. Like, it may not always be the strongest, and it may not be the flashiest, but just the look of the ship is too beautiful to ever stop loving.
Yeah, I mean, you usually fly the Spire nowadays, right?
I do. That's because players kept complaining about it being underpowered.
It is.
So I wanted to get really good at it
Oh, yeah.
to destroy them with.
Well, I suppose that's my thinking with the Mobula, so I can't exactly fault you for that.
So,
Alright.
actually, speaking of the whole new maps question that I see here, I know that you guys have been working on a new map that has some interesting, shall we say, environmental aesthetics. You guys teased it in one of the adventure mode.
Are you pulling a Howard on me again?
I'm trying to be subtle.
Type it in.
Oh,
into the
okay,
thing.
fine. I was trying to be subtle, but the map that takes place at night,
Oh, right.
you guys
the
are working on
night
that for an
Yeah.
age and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say
With
Alex
the
has even
thunderstorms and
worked.
whatnot?
Yeah, Alex has worked up some
Um,
stuff for even lightning, so it's not like it's not even been touched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Acting like we're sneaking things on you.
I mean, we were talking about that
Right.
since PAX East. Has there been any progress on that? Because I was really excited to see that come to fruition.
No, not really. It's
Aw.
man, there's just so many things get onto our plate. I'll add it in back onto the list again, make sure it's there. But yeah, spotting needs to come back as something more significant, at least some additions to it for a night map to really work. So
So it's probably going to be pursuant on those dedicated spotting changes that you guys have in the works?
Yeah, maybe. It might be a thing with co-op mode. I'm not sure right now because the way things are lining up right now, it's just that co-op is almost getting full steam right now. So a lot of features that aren't in skirmish might be bundled with co-op mode. But yeah, a night map would be totally awesome. We've been thinking the same thing for months now. Oh, development.
But then we have a question about reducing the amount of clouds on maps.
Nope. Never.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
It's
Do you want to be killed from the other side of the map? Yes, then we'll remove clouds.
Also, flare guns. Put them on every ship.
Every ship.
You'll really love it.
Yeah, flare guns are awesome.
They're even
Trust me,
useful for
not
killing.
Tried them.
It's like, oh, what? That's your balloon? Oh, 20 flame stacks. Flare is brilliant. I love it.
Also, when we do make changes to spotting, or at least have more spotting mechanics or weapons, clouds, I don't know. I'm not sure how big of a deal they might be.
Alright, what's the difference between co-op mode and what we have now?
In co-op mode, you'll get to fight AI enemies. Think about Left 4 Dead.
Actually, speaking of which, this question came up earlier. I don't recall if you felt comfortable answering it, and if I'm having a mind lapse here, forgive me. But anything are there any ideas or broad concepts that you're willing to share when it comes to boss ships? Like ideas of a boss that's like this or whatnot?
Okay, with boss ships, when I think of boss ships right now is after all the meetings that we've had this week, boss ships are the ones that require a lot of logic. They don't behave like normal airships that we have in the game right now. It's like they'll have like a weak point, like they'll have like 20 different armors that you'll have to kill, stuff like that. All those things.
Ablative way of fighting them.
Right, and they'll like super unique types of enemies. Like a boss might be a fortress city of some sorts. That might be a boss. You have to like blow through the walls or whatever. And go on.
I kind of imagine it like if anybody's played Battlefront 2 in the space battles when you're trying to take down the battleships, you're flying underneath it, you've got to take out the shield hard points, or you can go into the hangars and try to take it out from inside. You've got to be dealing with all the turrets around it and the fighters. That's kind of how I imagine it.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at classic example Star Wars, Luke Skywalker's like going through the tunnel and he has to shoot the thing into the little hole, like that. That's a boss. Like the Death Star is a boss. Save that for adventure mode, I think. We'll save the Death Star for adventure mode.
All right.
The Death Star?
Well, I feel like the B-Wing will need to make an appearance there, but I mean, I so far almost went into a really big Star Wars like nerd rant, and then I pulled it back for you guys. You're welcome. Also,
well, you can't be that much of a nerd. I don't recall there being B-Wings at that battle.
Well, no, that's what I was going to go on a rant about. It's like, well, it'd have to be the second Death Star, because that's where the B-Wings were, but then you'd also have to include A-Wings, because there's more capital ships. But, again, I don't want to go into that, because I have way too much knowledge of things that never happened.
Prod.
Alright, will there be, how's the spawn fixing going, is one of the questions.
Yeah, so, we have an idea of what's causing it, but it may not be enough to really get spawning to where we'd like it. So we're thinking about ways to improve that whole entire system and make it make sense. Because even if we fix the bug that's there now, I mean, you'll still spawn like really, really far away when your teammate is still fighting enemies. That doesn't really make any sense, right? So we're trying to figure that out and hopefully put that in sooner than later.
Alright, and then there was one, when you shoot ships, will they, or like biplanes, will they careen out of the sky and crash and stuff like that?
Yes, they are using, this is why we're teaching the AI to pilot airships, because their physics flight model is going to be as accurate as possible, same with the airships, right? So if you shoot one of their wings off, they will careen, like they would do in real life. It'll look awesome.
Is there any chance of spotting being able to highlight weapon and engine hardpoints on enemy ships?
Weapon and engine hardpoints. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's already that degree of accuracy that you need, so it'd be kind of difficult. I think just calling it out and, with the various forms of communication might be just enough.
Yeah,
Plus,
I mean,
you get a pretty cluttered UI.
Exactly. That's what we
If you're talking about like commanding your gunners to aim for a particular gun on an enemy ship, then you're gonna probably be relying on communication and good communication skills in order to convey that. If you're talking about understanding a ship loadout, that just comes with experience.
Yeah. Like, if you have the field gun on your ship, I mean, ideally you'd be wanting to take out some kind of a component, because that's what it's designed for. Which will become easier, at least, on shooting those Pyramidian guns. That'll be fixed next patch.
Wonderful.
There's a question about investigating random FPS drops. I actually haven't gotten any reports from that. If it does happen to you, grab your log and send it our way, and especially like what you're seeing. If your FPS is like if it's exactly your FPS dropping or your MS skyrocketing, you can check it by pressing the Tide key. It's the little symbol next to the 1. But definitely send that into feedback@musegames.com so we can investigate anything.
Oh, you mean the
Yes, it is a live Q&A, Ventavia.
And then we've got a question about player-controlled biplanes.
No. It was a part of our Kickstarter, right? For like, I don't know, $800,000. It's not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. We totally wanted to put it in. But yeah, we need to focus on the core features right now. Again, small team, so we need to take small steps, core features, see where we get. If at any point where we release adventure mode and we're hankering for a DLC, who knows what we'll be able to pull out then. So, but for now, no, it's not a focus.
And speaking of which, the Spectre, yes, maybe an adventure mode and co-op. That's something that we're looking into. But for skirmish mode, the ships are balanced around 4-person crews. So.
All these people saying things drop FPS, I've never encountered it, I've never heard of anyone else that encounters it, and they haven't got reports of it, so maybe it's something on your end?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's always
I've been hearing some complaints about the flame lately, actually.
Really?
The flames. I knew there was one with the achievement, but I think that one's been fixed.
That one's fixed.
Well, the one I usually hear is it's not so much the flamethrower being used, but the components being lit on fire. Unless you turn things down all the way, I've heard of that just being a massive FPS drop for some people.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm not sure what it is.
Any kind of particle effect is going to put some stress on your system. So yeah, if everything is on fire and you have everything on the highest settings, it does create a light. So it's a lighting issue. That's why. So it might be related to that. So if you try turning down your light quality setting, and you might see an improvement.
Yeah. For the people who came to me with that issue, that's what I suggested, and that seemed to work well enough for them.
Okay. Yeah.
And the Spectre, for part two of your question as to why we do not want to increase the crew count for skirmish mode, again, the ships are balanced around 4-person crews. Can you imagine having a Mobula, hi Cordy, with 5 gunners, 2 engineers? It'd throw the ship balance completely out of whack.
You would always win.
It would be the most overpowered thing ever.
And then I had a question shot to me over Skype because he doesn't have a Twitch account, and so this is a shout out to Forrest, who's done some of the voice acting for him, and I'm going to put a link to his Facebook. So he's done a lot of games. He's also done if there's countdowns for the government. So if there's like a nuclear war or something, that's what our armed forces are probably going to hear, is this man's lovely voice. I found that awesome. But he had a question: what do we think about sky whales? And I always want to keep the legend of the sky whale alive because it's something that's come from our game that I love passionately. But what do we have any exact plans for co-op or adventure mode and sky whales? Whether it just be a portrait on the goldfish, because it should go on the goldfish.
I don't know. I really don't know yet.
We haven't done. I think some of the achievements reference it, or one of them does. Something references Sky Whales already. So it might just be those
Yeah.
little Easter egg things.
Yeah. The small things, sure. But as far as a picture, I don't know yet. Let's see if the artists feel like doing something.
And yes, there's going to be voice acting in the game. We're going to have voice commands, so people without mics or people with who don't speak the same language as the crew can easily, press a button, basically say "shoot that way" or "repair this" or "enemy to that side."
If you look at your key bindings right now, I mean, it's our fault. We already released this feature last patch. We didn't advertise it very well, but it's called Crew Signals, I believe.
Signal
down
mode.
to V. Yeah, signal mode. So you press V, and WASD brings up various contacts that you can pull commands from. It'll show an icon that'll flash by for all your crewmates, and that'll help you with people who don't speak your language. And then the next step is getting voice actors, and we'll actually put a voice behind those. It's sure, you won't you won't understand what they're saying because it'll all be in English, but at least you'll get the icon, you'll get it in text chat, etc. So try to reinforce that as much as possible in the future.
How are abilities supposed to be used? I have people directly repairing and they barely tickle the DPS it does to the ship. Well, if you're using Moonshine, that thing will break engines very quickly. As far as the other ones, I don't think they do that more damage than can be repaired.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're using Phoenix Claw or something like that, yeah, you can DPS fight that, but on one engine, and you have more than one engine on your ship, so you're losing.
Depends on the
either
ship
way.
loadout.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
I don't know, you can, for Phoenix Claw, I'm pretty sure, even on a Squid, I've been able to solo repair Phoenix Claw. It's not a lot of damage.
That's true. Or your captain's just really good at tapping out of it. Is usually what I do.
True.
Well, look, there's a training course which Spaceman used to run on a Squid, which was he would burn Moonshine and periodically pop hydrogen, and you had to keep the balloon and all engines alive, and you can do it. If you do nothing else, you can keep all 4 engines alive through a constant Moonshine burn and keep your balloon up. So, it's possible, you just gotta be really good.
Alright, and then there was a question again shot to me from Papa Paradox outside of Twitch about the minimap and spectator options. So, it was in, it didn't work, and then it was taken out, but the commands are still in there for the options menu. So, basically, that should be in, we're going to have that fixed up and ready next patch, right? Because they just needed a little more time to make it fix in, so it didn't cover over ships.
Oh man, he took it off.
What in the hell?
Hmm?
Where has he gone? I was zoned out for a second.
He sneezed and he exploded.
Poor Meta.
Okay, have a look at that image that Swallow just linked. Who the hell is that guy? The bottom one, obviously, not the top one.
Wait, I am not even in the Twitch right now. I need to log.
Isn't that the guy from Breaking Bad?
I have no idea.
No.
I don't watch that
okay,
series.
I know who it is. Gus Fring.
Mm.
Yo, okay, watch Breaking Bad. It is the best TV ever.
No, the best TV ever is West Wing. Hands down, no arguments. It's a medical fact.
Forget it.
No?
No,
I'm sorry.
No. I can't do
that
the
on the
walking and
bingo card
talking.
again.
Too much walking and talking. I know
Yeah,
that's
too
what's his
much
face's, like, forte.
beautiful talking from a well-written, just beautifully well written. Beautifully well written.
But it's all the time.
People
I know
get
that's
shot in
Sorkin's
that show.
thing. Okay. While walking and talking down a hallway, they get shot. That's great.
Yeah,
It's
no,
so-
I'll have
Stop
to
walking and
agree. The
talking.
best TV is Archer. You're all insane.
Archer is
Thank you.
amazing.
Archer is fantastic. Like, I don't watch TV anymore.
duh,
I have the
and/or
internet. Why would
hello.
I watch TV? But yeah, you guys are in the danger zone. Danger zone.
Dude, did you see the new promo for it? The Kenny Loggins
Beautiful.
Danger Zone?
Yeah.
Shot by
Amazing.
shot.
Yes. Not that we've all been
Lana.
distracted and basically derailed the entire.
Lana. Lana!
What?
Alright, well, I think we're getting derailed enough. I think, it's possibly time to wind down. Does anybody have a sort of a, for those who are new, we usually finish with sort of like a personal question we've had. What do we fear? What's our favorite foods? Does anybody have something? Otherwise, I'll quickly think of something on the spot.
Holy shit, Riley, you're totally Jesse Pinkman.
Why am I... Is that at least a
have to
good
talk like-
thing?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You just have to end every sentence with bitch or yo now, and sometimes scream science, bitch,
Jesus.
or
Alright.
no, fuck yeah science, or fuck yeah magnets or something.
Alright, no, this is actually a good one. We'll take Blaher's one. What is your favorite game ever?
Oh, man. Oh.
It's gonna
That's
be
tough.
rough, isn't it?
You see, I have like favorites in every genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's what's hard is there's ones that I think their mechanics are just too beautiful to argue with.
But if there is one that you've gone back to over and over...
Oh, Super Smash Brothers.
Really? Okay, fair enough.
The controls are just so tight, and it's just I don't know. I love it because you really feel in command of the fighting, and it's never man. You should memorize this string of combo. It's positioning, it's timing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not gonna say Guns of Icarus. That would just be selfish and self-serving, boondles.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Actually, if I say Guns of Icarus, do I get the $10? Because I'll change my mind for $10.
Alright,
Pretend
Meta,
to.
how about you?
Oh god, for me this is probably going to be a tie.
Yeah.
And I know there's something of a cop out, but the games are so wildly different, and I love them for such wildly different reasons that So number 1, Sonic 3 and Knuckles for the Genesis. Classic,
good one.
great presentation. Oh come on. Well then,
What?
or just pout. But anyway. Sonic 3 and Knuckles for the Genesis. Wonderful game.
I like
One
that.
of my favorites
I like
of
that
all time.
game a lot, actually.
Even has, if you believe the legends, Michael Jackson doing the music for it. But the other one is Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo. Speaking of fantastic music, by the way. And
You
it's
have
a great
no
experience.
idea how displeased I am that you list a Sonic game as one of your favorite. You have no idea how much that
Dude,
pisses
I
me
grew
off.
up. I grew up on the
They were
Sonic
pretty
games.
good.
Yeah, the original ones were
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, if you're talking about game before the year 1999 or so, then there's nothing wrong.
Orcam, move on before I kill someone.
Or just
Right,
pout.
Fine, I
pretty
will.
hard
Thank
for me
you.
to decide. Okay, so my default response to this would be Shadow of the Colossus, but when you said
Oh.
a game where I would ever go back to, I don't think I'll ever play Shadow of the Colossus already because I understand it now.
Mm.
Maybe in a couple of years I'll play it again, and as I'm older, see how I respond to it. But I think that is the only AAA game that has, at least in a lot of circles, has attained the recognition as games as art.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of indie titles can certainly reach that pinnacle, but for AAA, it is the only one. Play it if you haven't; it's absolutely beautiful. But a game that I probably would go back to. Man, I really want them to release Final Fantasy Tactics on the Android finally, so I could play it again.
Yes.
I thought they did.
No, in Japan they did, I think, but they released it for sure on iOS a while ago. But I don't own any Apple products, so I'm waiting for the Android port. But I don't know. I might pick up Final Fantasy V for like the $15 that they're asking for, just because I like doing the job system. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Final Fantasy Tactics is something that just barely evades the top 2. I love that game to pieces. I absolutely love that game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird story, but I'll let that slide.
A better story than people give it credit for, if you ignore the whole...
Mm.
Yeah, that's a rant for another day.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
rant for another day.
A lot of people have been saying Journey. I agree. It's a good game. It's not my favorite. My favorite, I'd have to go a tie like meta. Would either be Bastion or Dust and Elysian Tale. Both
Okay, yeah, Bastion
are
is up there.
amazing.
Wait, what was the last one you said?
Dust and Elysian Tale. If you liked Bastion, you'll probably like Dust. It's more a 2D brawler type, but it's got that same epic music, the amazing story, the brilliant characters, anthropomorphic characters, which may turn some people off.
It's the Korean
but-
game. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dust is really good.
So
The
good.
story's really good. The combat's really good. The only problem I found is the progression. I feel like I've leveled up too hard, and I'm like just one-shotting everyone, and it got kind of boring because I can't do like all the cool combos and styles because I'm just like, punch, done. Okay,
See,
all right.
I didn't do that. I leveled up. Oh, what's her name? The little fairy thing. Pix? I leveled her up to the max, so I literally just dive across the screen, and my screen just fills with particle effects, homing particle effects, and everything dies. I just blitz across the screen 4 or 5 times, and everything's dead, and I'm just there like, yep, that was fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually, Bastion would have to be up there. I think as far as like that style of game, the 2.5D like Diablo style, like kill all the monsters type of thing.
It's not 2.5D.
Okay, yeah, sure. We can argue about that, but the progression is beautiful, or lack thereof of strict progression and lack of skill trees. It was amazing. That game was great.
The story is
Beautifully
just
designed.
sensational. See,
It's such a difficult question for me to answer too, because there's so many games that I absolutely adore just because they had the audacity to do something completely different and new that I've never seen before, but they didn't quite pull it off, so I don't know if I can call it a really good game.
Well, Mirror's Edge.
I was going to say the original Valkyrie Profile, which was a
yeah.
fantastic game. A fantastic game, but oh my god, it wasn't so much unpolished as still coal. Great game, though. Great game, though. I really do like it. Can't be too unkind.
Warhammer Tabletop is a great game, Brian. There's so much wrong in it, though. Let's be honest. I mean, people can argue Guns of Icarus balance, but there's so much like balance. If you say balance and Warhammer together, I have years of rants on that one.
And I think that most of those problems boil down to somebody who will not be named, but who rhymes with bat board.
Damn you, Batboard. Oh god, don't mention Dragon Age Origins. My wife has played through it like 27 times.
yep, I love that game beyond description. It's so good.
I enjoyed that one a lot.
Also worth mentioning, I play Magic the Gathering. Love the game. Since 1994.
It's a good game.
Dude, the guys who made Magic, I've already told you, but I like talking about it. Soulforge.
Soulforge. No,
They have done an amazing job in just evolving it, I find.
I mean, you want to know how big of a Magic
I
the Gathering
hate-
fanboy I am? Ink Eyes, Servant Devoni.
Holy crap!
the statue.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think that is about it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, for coming along. This has been the Fireside Chat with the Guns of Icarus devs, Orcam, Meta5, and Kivice, and myself, Query2Jam, your host. And I'm going to leave you with one of the ending pieces from Dust and Elysian Tale, because it is the only game to ever make me cry. So, bye.
What? Not Final Fantasy VII?
No, didn't get me.
Yeah.
Catch you next time.